This is IntelRadio, featuring InvestorIntel and breaking stories with host Ellis Martin.
Today I'm speaking with David Vinokurov, Vice President of Corporate Development for Stans Energy Corp, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange as HRE, and in the U.S. on the OTCQX as HREEF. Stans Energy is a resource development company focused on progressing heavy rare earth properties in areas of the former Soviet Union. David, welcome to the program.
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure speaking with you, Ellis.
Stans trading was recently halted due to some very exciting news, and here it is. Stans Energy was approved as a participant in the Skolkovo Government Grant Program. Would you tell our listeners exactly what that means?
Yes, we just recently formed a new subsidiary that's an approved resident company of the Skolkovo initiative. Basically, we can apply for grants to develop rare earth processing and downstream technologies. We can use these grants to further the development of any projects that we have or we're thinking of acquiring. So it's a great step for the company. It's a source of non-dilutive financing, and we're really proud to be able to participate in the program.
Through the Skolkovo Foundation, Stans is now able to apply for government grants of up to 100 million rubles, which is approximately $2.85 million US for individual technical projects. Now, David, would you tell us more about the Skolkovo Foundation and how your company is tied to this mandate for individual technical projects?
Sure, certainly. The main applications of rare earths today is for high technology industries, whether it's for electric magnets, electronics, or any number of other uses. This foundation supports high technology companies. So at the end of the day, these companies that are developing these technologies would be relying on the types of elements that we want to produce. So if we're able to produce those elements in a more efficient way or develop new technologies to exploit other types of deposits, then the full downstream applications chain of companies will ultimately benefit from that as well. So that's why we're a great fit for this type of program, and we're really excited to start applying for grants.
And you've been working on this for a long time, haven't you?
Oh, yes. We've been working on this for quite some time. I'm sure all the listeners are aware there's quite a lot of bureaucracy here in this part of the world. And the recent addition of Mr. David Vinokurov to our board of directors was a great success for the company because he was helping us navigate this process going well back over a year. So with the addition of him to the board and the formation of the subsidiary in Skolkovo, we can see the direction that the company is going in now. I just wanted to add that Mr. Vinokurov is the investment director for Rosnano, which is another Russian government corporation. It's a multi-billion-dollar government-backed fund that more like a venture capital fund that invests in companies that develop technologies in nanotechnologies and other high technology fields. So we are developing the company to be a supplier to these types of industries and to grow the company as all these demands for these elements grows in future.
According to your news release, the Skolkovo Foundation's goal, as you said, is to turn cutting-edge research into commercially viable products of global relevance by creating a unique global hub for innovation and an ecosystem of entrepreneurs and talent. Are you planning on seeking new rare earth projects outside of Kyrgyzstan?
Well, the situation in Kyrgyzstan is as follows. We sued the Kyrgyz government in international arbitration. We were awarded $118 million in damages. We are actively trying to negotiate a solution whereby we can resume working at Kudasai 2 in Kyrgyzstan, but at the same time, we're still proceeding with the collection process of the damages. We've always wanted to develop Kudasai 2. It's a unique property in the world. It's got a great mix of heavy rare earth to light rare earth. There's known metallurgy that we've been developing and improving upon with the assistance of a rare earth organization here in Russia. But unfortunately, until a work stoppage is lifted, we have to proceed with the collection process. Now, that being said, we are actively looking for other projects in former Soviet Union, in Russia. The only country that has more rare earths in reserves other than Russia is China, and know-how to develop that rare earth is here in Russia. So there are some things up our sleeves, nothing I can really discuss at this point, but it's certainly part of our plans, yes.
Well, you certainly do sound optimistic. What can you talk about besides what we've covered so far?
Stay tuned. We've got a lot of corporate development initiatives in the pipeline. We made some big steps in terms of diversifying the company away from Kudasai 2 and to really grow the company in the long term. It's been a challenging climate now with rare earth prices falling continuously, but in my opinion, I think the prices are bottoming out. Demand is increasing for the elements, and ultimately, we just want to grow the company and add some value to our shareholders.
David, thank you. It's always a pleasure to speak with you, and we do appreciate your joining us today from Moscow on IntelRadio.
My pleasure, Ellis. Pleasure speaking with you, and we'll talk to you soon.
I've been speaking with David Vinokurov, Vice President of Corporate Development for Stans Energy, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol HRE, and in the U.S. on the OTCQX as HREEF. For Intel Radio, I'm Ellis Martin.
Thank you for joining Ellis Martin on Intel Radio. Please note that Ellis Martin is not a licensed investment advisor, and Intel Radio is not intended to provide investment advice. For more information, go to InvestorIntel.com or email info@InvestorIntel.com.